Good morning, everybody. I've been a bit invisible for the last, well, if I'm honest, probably 2.5 months. And I thought it's time to get back to doing what I do. Now, what I wanted to spend a little bit of time this morning talking about is some of the realities of kind of staying visible with video, because it can be difficult sometimes. And I wanted to spend a bit of time sort of acknowledging that and getting into some of um, the things that can get in the way, the things that can stop us from being seen for our business, and what you can do about it. And also just to say, it's okay. It's okay if you have periods of time where you feel like hiding away or need to concentrate on other things. Hello, Andy. How you doing? Because I haven't been invisible. I haven't been not doing stuff. I've just been focusing on other parts of the business. But it feels a little bit like I haven't been taking my own medicine. And the truth is that's the case. Sometimes it is difficult to uh, keep yourself going and being seen and being kind of present and there for audience, for kind of for the marketing side of things, and it can feel quite exhausting sometimes. So I wanted to just pick apart how it happens, but also what you can do um, to kind of really step back into that process, step back into the kind of um, the daily actions that move you forward, that keep you being seen. Because fundamentally, here's the truth about visibility: is that you kind of we hear the word visibility an awful lot. We hear people saying, "Oh, you've got to be seen," and it's true. You have got to be seen. But a big part of marketing is keeping you and what you do, particularly if we're in that sort of solo entrepreneur space, top of people's minds. And it's really good to be, to make sure you can kind of um, give yourself permission to not be seen sometimes, but also conversely, it's important to be able to sort of step back into it when you feel kind of ready to get going again. So who have we got here? We've got Andy. Hello, Andy. Facebook user says good morning. Hello. I wonder if that's Scott. That might be Scott. I don't know. I'm going to see where people are. So yeah. So I launched my Video Academy course back in September, and we're in December now. So the last quarter, I've been very quiet. I haven't been doing content and cocktails regularly. I haven't been doing my go lives. I haven't really been doing very much other than trying to deliver the best course I possibly can, because this is the second run through, and I've made sort of tweaks and adjustments and all sorts of things that I've needed to do in order to sort of improve the experience and make get myself happy with the course and sort of dedicate myself to making that happen. But it's just me. It's me on my own. I do all of this. I am in the process of building a business, and I'm in the process of recruiting at the moment, but it's still me. And I think there can very easily come a point where you kind of think, oh God, how, if I keep on being if I keep on going at the pace that I'm going, because doing a launch is really intense, and you get a little bit of visibility burnout, I think, and you sort of come off the back end of that, and you've got a course to deliver. It's very, very easy to sort of step back from that being seen mentality, being present, being an active educator, because you've got, being an active educator to a wider audience, because you've got, I've got a very specific group of people to work with and help, as well as all the other client work that I do. And the reality is something has to give. And you sort of step back from something, and it's precisely how it happens is so clearly, you can see it so clearly. You say, oh, I'm not going to do it this week. I'm not going to do my normal live this week. And you step back and you don't do it, and you sort of you let 1 week slide, and people go, oh, where are you? Where did you go? And you think, oh, I better do it. And you do it next week, and then the next week you do it, but you miss it again the following week, and all of a sudden you're into a little pattern of reduced visibility, and then it sort of ebbs down and down, and before you know it, you've stopped being seen. You've become invisible, and that lack of kind of presence to an audience, you have to kind of either look at it and go, okay, how has this happened, and what do I need to do to get back into the swing of things, or look at it and go, am I okay with this? Is this working? And the truth is, for my business, I need to be seen. So I am committing to sort of taking my own medicine again, stepping back into this, and would love to hear about the things that kind of perhaps get in the way of your being seen, your consistency. Because for me, it's things like overwhelm. I don't mind. I really like going live. This is the irony. I love going live. I love chatting with people. So for me, it's not about the being here. I like the being here. It's that assessment that you make when you're in the thick of delivery, that you look at and go, okay, what am I focusing on? And it's very easy to choose the kind of the stuff that's in the important. And if we're looking at that kind of that planning quadrant, we've got our urgent and important quadrant, we've got our important but not urgent quadrant, and we've got our urgent and not important, and our not urgent and not important quadrant. I know for a fact that I've been living almost consistently in the urgent and important quadrant for about a quarter, and that's a hard place to be. And so when you are as a business operating in that sort of everything's important and everything needs to happen now quadrant, it can be incredibly draining. And so you look at the things you're doing and go, oh, what's gonna give? And for me, it was the being live and the being sort of seen. And I can tell you now, that is a mistake. That is a mistake I have made. And it's a silly mistake, because I know it's one of these things. I absolutely 100% know that it's not the right thing to do. What I should have done was reduce rather than cut, and communicated that clearly to everybody. But you never learn. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. What I'm going to do is it's what I've done. So I've got my plan together. I know precisely what's happening from January onwards. So I have a very clear plan for next year in terms of revenue that I want to generate, projects I want to drive forward, people I want to work with, all of that kind of stuff is mapped out. And I have a very clear and sort of precise sense of what we're doing. So I've got a plan, and it's kind of it's being executed, and it starts in earnest in January. But I was looking at my plan going, oh, I'll start in January. I'll get visible again in January. But actually, that's not really what I want to be doing. I want to be back being seen in my business now. And the truth is, I rather miss the lives. I rather miss the sort of the weekly routine of content and cocktails. I miss sitting and chatting with people. All these things. It's an easy situation to sort of slip into. So, yeah, if any of this resonates with anybody, that kind of feeling of kind of not necessarily that you don't want to be doing the whole presence and visibility thing, but the fact that you look at it and go, this feels too much for the for given what all the other stuff that I've got going on. And what I've been doing as I've been sort of unpicking this in my head is I've been documenting it and trying to work out what systems can I put in place to make sure that my response to kind of overwhelm my response to overwhelm is to kind of go, oh, I don't want to be seen, I can't cope with it. My response to overwhelm should always be planning. Oh dear, my camera's twizzled around a bit. And I have a plan. I've got clear plans. I've been working in the most amazing mastermind for this last year with Lisa Johnson and a bunch of people who are fantastically supportive. And I've had that support network to lean on. And it's been when I've started, and it's really been the last month. I had a fantastic planning day down in London about a month ago now. And that sort of really got things back on track for me. I was looking, going, oh, this is ridiculous. I know precisely where I want to go. I know what I need to be doing. And why don't I just do it? Put the plan together and execute on it. Yeah, well, thank you, Andy. Yeah, it's well, it's good to see. Andy is one of the people who has probably seen more of my face online than almost anybody else, and has really been getting stuck into Video Academy. And it's been a pleasure sort of having you on the journey and being part of your journey as well. Thank you, Gail. Yes, I have been really quiet, and I'm glad you're happy to see me again. It's funny, isn't it? You sort of you have all these sort of stories and kind of little narratives in your head that you tell yourself about what's happening, why you're going, and you're thinking, well, I don't think I'm sure nobody's missing the lives. But actually, when you start getting out there, people go, oh, yeah, I have missed you. It's nice to see you back. And it's really nice to hear. So thank you so much. It means a great deal. So you will unfortunately be seeing lots more of me. I know we're coming into Christmas, but I will be doing a special festive content and cocktails because it's important for me to sort of get back into that swing. I did eggnog last year, and it was quite a fancy eggnog. And it worked very well. So I might do another eggnog for Christmas, for the Christmas one. Another one of the cocktails it's funny. We've had over the last 2 years a lot of cocktails which, to be fair, have been quite undrinkable. But eggnog seemed to divide opinions strongly. Some people like, no, revolting. I don't want to be drinking raw egg and cream and booze. And other people go, oh yeah, I love that. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But really, what I wanted to sort of address this morning is, one, how easy it is to become invisible in your business, but also how easy it is to roll that back, to become visible again. And why don't I invent a God, I don't normally get distracted by comments this easy, but Andy says, why don't you invent a cocktail of your own for Christmas? Well, that would be good. That might be quite good. I quite like the idea of that. I might give it a go. I'll get my thinking cap on. But yeah, so really what I wanted to say was that the process of invisibility is it happens as easily as just kind of not turning up. After my launch, I sort of made a conscious decision for a couple of weeks to step back. And then that conscious decision to step back became a habit of not showing up, if that makes sense. And it can happen very, very easily. But do not let that dishearten you. It happens to the best of us. Our energy in business ebbs and flows. And I think you have to be kind to yourself. You have to be you have to kind of spend some kind of time trying to work out what the blocks are, what's stopping you, and take a long hard look, and then just kind of find ways to sort of work with them or work around them or negate them or mitigate for them, whatever it is, whatever you need to do. Spend some time examining and planning, and that's what I did. And it's this is it. I don't know who this is. Sorry, I'm gonna see if I can see who. Is that David? Is that David? Yes, it is David. Yes. Sorry, your name wasn't showing up, David. Well, yeah, and we do beat ourselves up about it, because I think we sort of tell ourselves so. Particularly when we are sort of solo business owners, we have to do so many things, so many different things, that kind of that it can feel like, you know, it's an endless list. The list never gets smaller, does it? The list never gets smaller unless you bring people on. And I'm in the process of bringing people on to get to help me with the stuff that I'm frankly a bit bobbins at, and sort of move me more firmly into my sort of as they say, zone of genius, which is, I can never decide if I really like or really hate that phrase, but I'm going to say that I'm liking it today. So yeah, but we can be very hard on ourselves, and as David says, and I think it's a little bit of kindness to oneself and a little bit of kind of permission given. Give yourself, say, you know, I've been doing Content and Cocktails consistently for 2 years, with occasional breaks, and this is the longest gap that I've had. And funnily enough, I started by telling myself, oh, you know, it's just a little break. I need to just reboot. Do I do any mindset work? Yes, I do. Funnily enough, this is a big part of what I do, and it's a really important part of what I do, but I let it slide. I was so busy with the other stuff, Caroline, because I can see. So Caroline, whose name isn't showing up, says, "Do you do any mindset work?" And the answer is a big yes, I do. And it's going to be a really important part of this coming year, because I'm staying on in the mastermind that I'm part of, and not only is there all the mindset work that I am doing normally, but mindset is a big part of the mastermind next year. And for me, that's always been the that's always been the sort of my sort of weak spot, my Achilles heel. I have ADHD, and it manifests much more in the attention side of that. I was never a kind of tearing around the room throwing chairs kind of child. I was always like kind of sort of looking off through the window, which drove people absolutely bananas. So, but as an adult, it manifests itself in different ways, and kind of you tend to have comorbidities with it, which are kind of around low mood and depression and that kind of stuff. And whilst I've never been somebody who's kind of had what I consider full-blown depression, I do get those periods where you have quite sort of profound troughs of low mood. And I think mindset work has been such an important part of that. And taking time to examine that and taking time to do the things that you need to do is normally a very important part of it. But when I'm so busy, you let it slide. It's just that you think, oh, I'll be fine. It's only for a few weeks. And before you know it, you kind of feel like you're wading through treacle. But the treacle is kind of coming off me, and I'm coming up out of the treacle pit. Who we got here? And it's coming from someone who's procrastinating about letting people know what my zone of genius is. I'm learning to love that phrase. Yeah, it is. I think it's a phrase I love. I love to hate and hate to love. But it is really useful. Hello, Chantal. That's how I do the mindset when I'm feeling okay, and then it slides when I'm feeling shit, which isn't very. It's true, but it's so true. And it's we sort of touched on a lot of this, I think, because funnily enough, part of the trigger of this was taking some time out to go on a retreat. So Sean, I was out in Croatia in what feels like a million years ago now, in October. Was it October or was it September? No, it was October. Yeah, I think. Yes. And Chantal was out there as well. And we sort of, we had such a, it was such a lovely time being out there, but also you find yourself thinking and talking and planning and kind of having conversations that sort of end up with you doing a lot of kind of deep thinking work. And I came off the back of that completely discombobulated, feeling in a weirdly positive way. But that discombobulation has never quite left me. But I know that when I pop out the other side of this, which I am currently doing, that there is going to be a transformed version of me. Not in any sort of, oh my God, my ADHD has gone. It's just that I have more and better tools at my mental tools at my disposal in order to sort of to navigate this. But going back to the point that that was made about mindset, yeah, I do mindset work, but like Chantal was saying, it's one of those things that when I need it the most, it tends to slip. And that's one of the things that's on the list of not to do. Yeah, it was super intense, wasn't it? But super, absolutely fantastic. But it does feel like a million years ago. And I'm very much looking forward to going out to LA in February, which is going to be on us really, really quickly. I'm really hoping we can go because the way things are sitting at the moment, I sort of look at the whole COVID situation and think, oh, please, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Chantal says, I'm right with you there. I think that discombobulating is leveling up mentally to cope with the high vis. But yeah, it felt like an absolute high and crash and then crashed up. Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it? And I know, Chantal, you've had all sorts of really intense things to deal with, and I've been sort of thinking of you and kind of willing good things your way. But yeah, I think we're all sort of popping out the other side. But it is a leveling up process, isn't it? It's a good thing. It's a positive thing. And you have to have, I think, these moments of where you examine the realities and the motivators and the things that kind of keep you perhaps keep you moving forward. You have to spend time examining them and work out what you need to do more of. Christine, I would absolutely love to. It's been So Christine Marsh is somebody I've had the pleasure of working with over the years and getting to know as a genuinely lovely, kind, wonderful person and a friend. And I haven't seen for ages, and had a, I think fair to say, a really kind of a really grim year. And I am really looking forward to reconnecting. But yeah, 2021 can indeed do one. Amen to that. Having said that, though, whilst it has been an intense ride, and there's strong elements of it that can indeed do one, it's important to sort of look at the big picture. For you know, when I look back, I'm like, yeah, it's been a bit difficult and crap for the last quarter, but not because not because, you know, because the year has been yeah, for intense ride, really shit show, says Chantal. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. But there's been so much that's been positive that's happened. I mean, I've got a business that works. You know, the way I do things had to change radically with the pandemic, and you kind of, I've, you know, 2021 was about sort of building on what I'd learned in 2020 and really putting it to work, and that's what happened. And I think sort of from a mindset point of view, and this sort of visibility dip, which is one way to look at it, really was kind of, I think, the inevitable outcome of some of the things that have been going on. It sort of, there had to come a point where I sort of had to press a reset button, because all this stuff has been happening and all this stuff has been building up, and all, you know, lots of things going on. And you go, no, okay, I've put everything that I've learned into action. I've got some real benefit. I've achieved great things, but what I haven't done is check the sort of the stuff that's happening here between my ears. You're on a, you know, and I think a lot of us business owners do that. We kind of go hell for leather on the sort of the business side of stuff, and sometimes neglect the more kind of esoteric stuff that happens in our life, the kind of the more mindset based things, the kind of the self-care and all that kind of stuff. That it can be but yeah, like you say, Sean, it's about balance, isn't it? Yeah. You're right, financially and business wise, best year ever. It's been interesting to know that it isn't actually the thing that makes me yeah, exactly. I think that's it. You can have all the good stuff from a business point of view, which when you haven't got it can feel really, really difficult, because there's no getting around the fact that sort of if your business isn't working and you are a business owner, then, you know, things get difficult. But when it is working, all of a sudden you're left with the sort of the fact that you can focus in a cold, hard way on the other stuff, and you go, oh, actually, I'm still a complete nutcase. so I have to sort of unpick some of that mindset stuff, because as the business is kind of growing and developing and becoming stronger and better, you know, so I need to do that. So, you know, but we've gone on quite an interesting journey in this little sort of monologue conversation we've been having. What started out as me talking about showing up has actually ended up as being more about mindset and looking after ourselves. Because I think if you are feeling mentally prepared to be seen, it's much easier to be seen. And Andy, I mean, yeah. So Andy's, my situation is such that I've got maybe 5 years before what's discombobulating me hopefully leaves me alone and we can get back to some kind of normal life. Dan's this, yeah, you know, it's been so. Andy creates these amazing. I mean, it's. I think kind of amazing that they're essentially tied flies. He's a fly tie expert, but creates these really fantastic, beautiful objects that he's selling, and is in Video Academy, and is using it for everything. It's kind of it's worth, you know, it's kind of there for all the sessions, and we have a good laugh. But yeah, Dan, check out Andy and what he does, because I think you'll be very impressed, and they are beautiful things. Caroline says business owners can be the worst for neglecting themselves. Looking after our health and happiness often comes under wealth and business in the priorities list. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. We sort of metrics wise, I'm trying to find a way to sort of build in to my kind of KPIs, as it were, a sort of personal happiness metric, because I think, yeah, we can measure all the sort of the kind of, you know, our profitability, our sort of you know, all those kind of things that we measure as business owners. But actually something that is so important as kind of solo entrepreneurs or people running small businesses is that mental health side of things, that kind of that self-care. Again, self-care, that's one of those phrases that I struggle with, because I don't think it quite does justice to what you know, to what we need to be doing, because I think we need to be, I think, much more systematic and much more sort of planned with our kind of our looking after ourselves. Well, there we go. I might have struck on a chord here this morning. I think there's a lot of us feeling, and I think here we are. And here's the other thing: we're in the depths of kind of, you know, we're in early winter. Are we in winter yet? Technically, I think we're in winter. Yeah. Yes. That's exactly it, Chantal. Self-care always sounds like face masks and hot chocolates. But yes, whilst, hey, Lisa. So I got a lovely Christmas kind of, a little Christmas present come through the post from Lisa Johnson, and it had chocolate. It had hot chocolate and face masks. The kids are like, "Are you going to be wearing this?" I was like, "Of course I am. I've got to maintain my my kind of my beautiful fresh looking skin somehow. So I'll be having face masks and hot chocolate, and that will count as self-care. But it's so much more than that." Listen, but Boris can't. Well, you know, it's something of a talent of his. So, you know, if we have zones of genius, I don't think his zone of genius is necessarily running the country. On the evidence, I think his zone of genius lies somewhere else entirely. But let's not go there. Yeah, winter can. I like winter if it's snowy and crisp. Deep and give me deep and crisp and even winters. Not it's been a sort of kind of rather grim and miserable couple of days here, and that sort of but still I go down to the sea and when I can and look out across the, you know, the ocean, and it's beautiful. Even at this kind of the depths of winter at the moment, I'm being a bit of a chicken about going in the sea. I keep on looking at thinking I should go and have a cold dip. That will get me going. Yeah, I know. That's it. You know, we've got to. This is the small matter of COVID, which can massively do one. Right, I'm going to round this ramble up as I've gone on for. Who's this? Christine. Oh, fantastic. My article, Overcoming Judgment Calls, Experiences, Lessons, and Achievements. Well, please do share, Christine, and it would be lovely to catch up. I am going to be up in your neck of the woods in January, and it would be really lovely to catch up. I know we've sort of been talking about it, and I feel like I've been a very bad friend, but it's I don't quite know where 2021 has disappeared to. It's kind of, you know, it feels like it's just been like that. It's gone. So thank you for listening to my ramble, saunter, whatever it's been. But I think it all boils down to, if you don't feel like showing up, spend a bit of time working out what it is that's getting in the way and finding ways to mitigate. Or just give yourself some time and come to it when you feel ready. Video visibility isn't some kind of state mandated necessity. It is something that we do as an activity to support our businesses. It's one of many different things we do to market, but it's an important one. But if you're not feeling it, give yourself a little bit of space and time until you do feel it, and then go at it with a purpose. But don't beat yourself up. Be kind. That's my message. Yes, that's my message. So you'll be seeing a bit more of me in a sort of slightly ad hoc way between now and the end of the year, and then we're going into a much more sort of planned way of doing things. But yeah, there we go. That's me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting. It has been, as always, lovely. And yeah, I'll be here on Thursday. Content and cocktails. What I'm going to be making, I don't know. I might, as Andy suggests, I might make myself a cocktail, invent one, or it might be eggnog. Who knows? But either way, have a fabulous day today, and yeah, take care. Cheerio.